think we're up. What's up, guys? We're gonna give this about 10 minutes of us bullshitting, uh, just to allow for all the patrons to get the link, because the way that YouTube works, you have to actually start streaming before the link is active if you do a unlisted live stream. So
did you post that yet? No.
Yeah, I just did. Yeah.
We should also post it in the saloon. I can do it real quick.
Just tell them to go to the Patreon link. Yeah, so thank you guys for everything. We've gotten an outpouring of love and support and well wishes, and just, man, you guys are rad. All of our fans, patrons. Just to let you guys know, we're not doing this patron-only live stream just to garner more patrons. That wasn't the plan. I just want this to be like kind of a brainstorming exercise with the people that have a vested interest in our future. I don't want there to be 2,000 people, saying, "Oh, your boat's screwed. Your boat's, like that's any kind of war or." I just want people that are in my mastermind group to focus on, okay, what do we do now? Should we rebrand ourselves? Should we fix the boat? Should we keep going? How do we go from here? So that's kind of what I want this to be about. So this will be in a couple different sections. First, I've got a bunch of footage that I want to show you of the night. We didn't get any footage of the actual wreck. My job as a captain is to put the crew's safety first and not film while my boat is sinking. So I have zero footage of actual repairs and during the night, during the 2 hours that we spent in the water repairing.
Yeah, it was kind of a choose either the one or the other. We could have either filmed Singapore falling apart, or we could have spend all our energy on saving the boat, and I mean the choice was obvious for us, so
it did cross my mind.
Would have made better cinema if we would have filmed the boat sinking, but no.
But it was dark too, so it would have been like flashlight, boats, problems. We have really good footage of afterwards and all of the Coast Guard stuff, so I think we can put together something pretty interesting. It's not every day that your boat rips in half.
Okay, I think there's 20 people about watching now. Okay. You want to start? You want to give it a little more time?
John, Pure Dice Vlogs, Nuke Nerds, James, Des. All right, cool. William, your mom.
Oh no, she said she couldn't come.
Oh no, oh sorry, I thought that said Ute. That says Des Ute did it.
Okay. She'll watch it afterwards though, so no worries.
Let's just give it a couple more minutes. It's only been like 3 minutes. And then we'll get back to it.
So the boat might be messed up, but we're enjoying a really nice day. We're having really good coffee with like all these...
What happened to my coffee?
I think I put it over there. We're taking showers every day, and we're sleeping on
awesome. Thank you.
On a really comfortable mattress that's not moving and all. We've been received really well here. We're really grateful for that.
Hi, Albert. We haven't started the live stream yet, and when I put the recorded version up, I'll just tell everybody to go to this point to start it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep you guys here longer than I have to, but I want to make sure everybody's here so they get to see the whole thing.
Okay.
You know what? Since you guys have already seen the, coffee's good. We actually ran out of coffee the day before this happened. Maybe that had something to do with it. It's Rico. Yeah, Rico and everybody. Rico Richmond gave us our French press. So remember how we used to make coffee in a sock and everybody loved it? He saved us from the sock coffee. It wasn't bad. It was just...
It was pretty nasty.
It was like gritty at the bottom. Okay, yeah, so we've got some video for you for just like an intro. Pretty much what you've seen already, but this is the video version of the pictures that you've seen.
You can see right through the hull where it's supposed to join the bridge deck. It's just... Look at this. You can see through that. And the whole angle of the hull, I'm not sure whether the picture or the video can pick this up, but it's like easy 30 degrees off, like this, to the outside and up. Oh wow, the ceiling. But this is by far the worst. You can see right into the locker and right through. Oh man, we just let off a little on the ties that we had tying Zingara together. Oh my god, it's hot in here. And it went right back to what it looked like out to sea. Just that every time that there was a big wave, we were just picked up, and it even like stretched that more out. And now that we spent like 3 days now in a room on a nice mattress with James's family. Thank you so much, Pam and Jim, by the way. And I thought maybe it wasn't that bad, but it's good to be back here and actually see that I didn't exaggerate it like after the fact. This is fucking insane. I'll try to get a picture like from the front to the back because all the stringers were broken and whoa. And it's just, this is mental. Wow, I can't believe we got Zingara back into a safe harbor.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's that was like 4 days later after the accident. But during the night, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, pitch black, I go down there and I can see the water, the moon reflecting off the water through that crack. And we were taking big waves. I imagined, I mean, the biggest wave I saw was like 24, 25 feet.
Yeah, 8 meters for sure.
I was standing on the boat and it was above my head. And I think that the wave that took us out was bigger than that. Because
it must have been a double up or something. I mean, we didn't see the wave coming, but before that there were already big ones, like hitting us like a truck on the side. But yeah. Why don't we start with the beginning, actually, right? Let's start.
So this was the sea state on the GoPro. I took some GoPro that day, and you guys already know. I mean, you have to know that sea state doesn't really come in over video, so it always looks small. It's really hard to
pick it up
on video. But this is to give you an idea. This is like, we had never slept more than a few hours at a time because the boat would crash into a wave and take a bunch of water. And then, here's me on the rear. I'll try that. But you can see how much drip we had out. When we wrecked the boat, we had like half that much. And we're doing probably 8 knots here, surfing down the waves at night. That night, this is the day before, it's actually that night, we reefed down the jib about half more, and put out 2 drones. So I had one 400-foot line going out and then looping back, and then another polypropylene line with, oh no, I didn't. I used a static line, like maybe 100 feet out, 200 feet with a big buoy. So we were towing 2 drones and slowing down, and we were probably doing about 6 knots with just barely any jib outs.
Yeah, between 4.5 and 6 knots. I mean,
so it wasn't that we were launching off the waves and like we broke the boat because we were doing something wrong. It was just that we got hit weird. And I think what happened was when we came around the big island, the islands always make a little bit of funneling action. It's called like the kabatic flow of wind, and we expected that, and the wind wasn't that bad. It was like 30 knots, but something happened with the waves. It was like some kind of refraction thing, which I don't know how it happened, because the wind waves were coming from here and the swell was coming from here, and refraction off the island shouldn't have happened where we were at, but it did, and something really messed us up.
We were about 50 miles away from being in the wind shadow and the wave shadow of the big island, and it was a rough ride it had been a rough ride for about 3-4 days, and we were just about to be calm and done, and that's when it happened. And yeah, so close to the goal.
Let's say hi to some people that are here.
Okay.
Svi, John, Des, Nature's Journey, you have permission to come aboard. Albert's here, Tattoo Jason's here, William Jones, Michael's here, cool. Han, the ogre.
That's
your mom's here. Yeah. What's up, dude? Rick, James, Fred. I know there's a couple other people that can't type that are driving right now. Big thanks to Rick Godfrey. I know you're there, buddy. He's the guy that brought us down our autopilot. You guys will get to see that in the series pretty soon.
Yeah.
Our autopilot shit the bed 500 miles out from Ecuador. And we've dealt with that too. We've dealt with a lot of crazy things, but this is a bad one.
Yeah.
Nothing is beyond repair. Holler out and do a critical assessment. Take some core samples to establish the integrity of the plywood in high load areas, mast beam, aft beam, cylinder, bulkhead.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We're not ready for that yet. Let's just go to the actual footage. This is the only video that we have of the freak out moment where we're doing it. I'd been in the water for about an hour.
How would we explain it in a linear way?
That's what I'm doing.
The boat cracked in half, and
Okay.
then instantly we started to tie lines around it, to hold it together, right? To pull it close so that less water would come in and that it's less likely for the fucking thing to just break off completely. And then we thought when we had the boat more secure, James figured we could just bolt some wood in places to keep it together, which is what the footage is showing. In the middle of the night.
Cut it into pieces like this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 4 bolts in each one, and hopefully it's enough for the torsion.
I think right over your head, right here, right over the engine door is a good spot.
Yep. I need a thinner piece for that.
Okay.
Can you do a little thinner piece?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you kind of get the urgency in our voices, and that there wasn't any confrontation with us. It was completely it's from the moment that happened to the moment, the whole day. We didn't argue or fight or there was no cursing. It was just okay, we got to do this. Okay, I suggest you do this. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. It was we didn't have time to do any of that stuff. So it's really, really nice that we worked together like that.
I'm pretty proud of that.
Super cool. I'm super proud of that.
So it turned out that even with the lines as tight as we could get them, there was just too much movement for us to bolt things into place. So the lines were all that was holding the boat together until now. That's still what's holding the boat together. And we were afraid that they were gonna rip. So we talked.
No, wait. They did. They broke twice. One was around the strut, and then the strut broke. We had to get back in the water and tie it around the hull, and then that one parted too, and we had to do it again. So it broke twice because we were taking big waves. Even after we got it taken care of, every once in a while the big wave would come over and it would dump a bunch of water into the boat. Look, this is me trying to capture this. That wasn't even big. That's just a little one. Yeah, that wasn't even bad.
That just got me soaked.
This is after we were in the lee of the island, but before that, at night, after we had it tied up, we were taking huge waves, and just the sea anchor that we had kept collapsing because I don't know if it wasn't big enough or if it was already kind of something happened with it, and I could see it out there when it got light, and I got it in the right spot, but I don't think it was big enough, and we kept going sideways to the waves and just taking these monster freaking waves over, and they would just dump inside, and we were like, "Get us off this fucking boat, help!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll be there tomorrow morning." And we're like, "Oh god."
No, you gotta tell them. We talked to the Coast Guard at around after we secured the lines and they didn't part again, right? Around 4 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Yeah.
We contacted the Coast Guard and it was really helpful just to talk to somebody and to know that they know that we're out here and that we're having a situation basically. So just that alone calmed me down a lot.
Yeah, so I didn't call Mayday. I just called the Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard. This is Sailing Vessel Zingara, Channel 16. Listen, we have a situation. My hull is separating from the boat. We have it temporarily repaired, but we're disabled. We can't start our engine because at that time, our batteries had been going down and down and down, and usually the autopilot was working so hard to keep us on course with just the jib out, just that piece of jib. The boat was not balanced correctly, so the batteries were down at like 10.5 volts, and we couldn't start the engines to recharge it. So we had to wait for the solar to charge the batteries to start the engine up, which was bad for us because we had no propulsion and we had no way of anchoring in the water. Anchoring being the sea anchor, so it was a bad place to be. We just didn't want to be there. We ended up pulling in the sea anchor like 3 different times and untangling it and trying to get it out.
And as soon as the sun rose, we were actually able to see these giant waves, big like one family houses, and just coming to get us. And it was so scary being up in the front. But we were playing it safe, so that was okay. And Des is asking how we got the lines under the boat. James actually went in the water and tied them first around the prop, as we just told you guys already. That broke, and then we tied it around the rudder extrusion on the back, and around the midship cleat. We put a line to that and put that around and onto the winch, and in the front we had a line, but he had to go in the water for 2 of them, and that was more than.
Oh, and it was the scariest thing, man, because the sea state, I was trying to wrap it around the hull, and the boat was like sucking me under and trying to come down and slam on top of me. It was really dangerous, super, super dangerous, but there was no other way to save the boat. There was no way for me to get a line that floats, Dyneema floats, underneath the boat and then back up on the other side. There's just... I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't have time to try to like engineer some kind of tool that was round. So I just jumped in, and the first line broke. I had to jump back in. I was freezing cold. I was so tired. It was really a lot of work to try to hold on to the boat and keep myself off of it while at the same time trying to tie. So the first thing I did, I was thinking the boat is breaking out this way, and I need to get something on the bottom of it. So Kimmy suggested, okay, we need to take off the backstay because the backstay is pulling the boat up and out. So we let off the backstay tension, and I got in the water and I said, okay, well, the strut is really strong. I'll just tie it to the strut and then pull the boat in. But with those big waves, we got it in and got it good, but every time we took a wave, it would pull on it, and finally it broke the strut off.
A big one just broke it. We didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, and it pulled the what is it called, the shaft, all like 90 degrees, and then I didn't know what happened, and when it did that, the rope came off and got stuck in the other prop, and so I ended up having to go back in the water before we got into port and untangle that. But then I just jumped in the water and tied it around the hull extrusion that was built for those kick-up rudders. So the hull ends like this, and then there's a little piece that the rudder kind of falls into. That piece is what I wrapped it around, and it bit in there probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches. And every wave we took, we'd have to tighten the thing, and I thought it was just slipping, but it wasn't slipping. It was eating into the boat. I mean, I think if we would have left the boat for another 12 hours in those seas, it would have been done. It would have just ripped that whole thing up.
So when we talked to the Coast Guard, they suggested a helicopter rescue, which
Actually, I have
the conversation we have here.
footage of that. Yeah.
Vessels and Guards, Coast Guard. Roger, Sensei, good copy on all, understand. If we sent a helicopter to your position to hoist you off of your vessel, would you feel comfortable leaving the vessel behind? Over.
Shit, man.
Aren't they sending a boat?
Sir, I'd rather stay on board and have my girlfriend jump on the boat, and or maybe if there's any way I could get a little more diesel. I think that she'll make it the 60 miles to Kona. It'll just be a dangerous proposition. I don't know if I want to leave it. Over. Damn it, I shouldn't have said anything. Now they're thinking about sending a helicopter. We're not going to be able to take anything on the helicopter. They don't allow you to take anything.
No, we'll wait for the boat. How long is that gonna take them? I'm not going without you either.
So at this point, I was so tired. I didn't even know what to do. I think at one point on the radio, I was like, I don't even know what to do. And I didn't know what to think. I knew that we had all these hard drives with like a year of footage, and I didn't want to lose that. And I thought that if the guy came down and jumped in the water from a helicopter and picked us up on a helicopter, he probably wouldn't let us bring anything.
Yeah, at that point we were not only losing the boat, but also losing both our jobs. So we were like, yeah. Also, we had the motor running, so just being able to steer into the waves a little and not having them come over our side helped immensely. So the situation improved, and since we spent a whole night in like the worst sea state ever, we figured we could just hold it out for another like 24 hours. And so that's what we decided on after all. But making that decision was one of the toughest I've ever made in my life, for sure. And we were so tired that, I mean, after getting off the adrenaline, most of it, and just the sleep deprivation, it's not good for decision making.
All right, so to answer your question, SV DeGello, did you have any weight on the backside of the anchor? No, I didn't have any weight on the backside of the anchor. I didn't know that you needed that. Maybe I should have researched how to use a damn sea anchor. I know that a 9-foot sea anchor for that boat is probably too small.
Yeah.
Did the Navy training help at all? No, but I'm very, very comfortable in the water. So for me to get in the water, I've done it probably a dozen times at night when we're wrapped in lines or wrapped in a net or something like that. It's just something you have to do if you cruise. You have to be comfortable in the water. I'm so comfortable, but this was super dangerous. It was probably the most harrowing water experience I've ever had.
Well, I think this question is more like handling a stressful situation like that. That's what I would
It did, yeah, and that's what the Coast Guard people said actually when they got on board. They were like, "You guys were calming us down when we were doing 23 knots to get to you." Because and I was like, yeah, I'm ex-Navy. He's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So I guess so, yeah. Maybe it did help with the radio. I'm not nervous on the radio either.
I'm nervous on the radio.
Yeah, but I've been living on boats forever. This is actually my 4th boat, and
That was your 5th?
no, it's my 4th. And I've been living on sailboats for, let's see, 9 years, and then the Navy for 5 on submarines, so I've got like 14 years at sea. So I think when I started the channel, I did like a lot of self-deprecating humor and made myself look like an idiot because I didn't want to look like, hey, I know everything. But I've got a 100-ton license, and I've captained dive boats before. I know what I'm doing. Okay, back to the story.
Hey, Dan.
We're almost done with it. Oh, Nahoa's here. What's up, guys? You guys rock. Thanks for helping us out, man.
Yeah. Cool. Congratulations on the baby, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm sorry, I don't know if we're supposed to put that out or not. Okay, so we got a couple more videos to show you. This is what we were dealing with afterwards. Like even after all this crap happened, we were still worried about the boat breaking up, and we decided that we would leave the boat when the cutter got there because we were like, listen, the boat's screwed. It's probably not going to be repaired easily. We might die out here if we get in the dinghy. Thank God we had that dinghy, by the way. Thank you, Karen, and the OC Tender team. That was huge to have an unsinkable dinghy rather than that portable piece of shit. If you guys don't know, we have an OC Tender, and that thing is unsinkable. So even if we would have flipped, we could have still gotten the dinghy off the boat. It would have floated, and then we could have just bailed it out and get all our shit in it. So this is what we were dealing with afterwards.
You know, this could be the new beginning of a great adventure, babe. Maybe we fix this boat, maybe we build another one. We're getting saved, we're getting rescued.
I know.
We love each other, we have each other. This is... Do you guys hear this? Are you guys hearing this? This is what we've been dealing with for, let's see, the last 12 hours. I am exhausted. I can't even winch anything anymore. And the boat it's creaking so much. And they're not even going to be here until tonight.
We're halfway through.
We're halfway through. This is a nightmare.
So yeah, what I was referencing, where are you hearing this, is every once in a while, like even when we got in the lee of the island, there'd be this big wave that just came and boom, it would crush us. A bunch of water would come in and it would stress the lines, and we just honestly we thought we'd end up in that dinghy, man. And then after the order of abandoned ship was ordered, we got everything packed. I actually disassembled the water maker and packed it in another bag, so we had 3 bags, one with the water maker in it, because it's really the only thing worth anything on that boat except the dinghy, and one with our electronics and one with like a few clothes and shit.
Yeah, James said we could only probably take like 2 bags if we would hop on the boat, and I was like, no way, dude, we're not leaving the fucking water maker, not after everything we did to get that thing, nor the dinghy. So we were like discussing back and forth what we can tell the guys from the Coast Guard to convince them to let us take the fucking dinghy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We're like, we could probably tow the dinghy. I suggested let's get the dinghy in the water. That way it's ready to go. Put our shit in it, and then when they get here, we can make them tow the dinghy. Or ask them to anyway.
Leave the boat, but let us take the dinghy. Yeah, honestly, at that point,
John says he was watching on the tracker. I wondered why you guys had paused so long off the coast. I'm very happy you're okay. Yeah, so if you guys are ever watching anybody sailing around and they're on the tracker and then they just start drifting with the wind, you can check the wind to see which direction. If they're drifting with it, that means that they're probably caught a fish. If not, they probably have a problem that they're dealing with. And if it's for a long time and they're going very slowly and with the wind and current, they definitely have a problem. Don't ever freak out because, you know, as you can see,
people handle their boats.
Problems are surmountable.
Sorry, Mom, for scaring you there.
Yeah. My
mom is always checking, and she knows every time we're just drifting for a little. She knows.
It's funny that we took the water maker home. I'm like sitting there for like an hour because we had 12 hours disassembling the water maker, taking off all the pieces and shit. It was funny. Okay, so that's the whole story. That's most of the footage that we have. Honestly, I've got a lot more of the Coast Guard talking to us. If anybody's interested in that, I can give it to them. I'm probably going to do some kind of like lessons learned thing because we could have done a few things better. I'd like to come up with a way that we can do that without me getting in the water, because that was dangerous. I could have been killed. Had the prop come down on my head, it would have been done for me. Sorry, Mom. But that was the only way I could solve the problem at the time. I'm just, it needed to happen. That hull was going to rip off. And as soon as the hull ripped off, we would have taken a wave and it would have come in under the bridge deck and filled the hull. And then
We would have both ended up in the water.
We would have flipped, for sure. No doubt about it in my mind. So, rather than flipping, I got in the water. So now, what has happened in the interim? We have gotten an outpouring of support from you guys and from our fans.
It's incredible, people. Thank you so much. The wave of support that has been washing over us for the last couple of days has been incredible and more than we could ever ask for or hope for. And thank you so much. I was talking to my mom about that yesterday, and we're both tearing up just thinking about all the people that are rooting for us, that are suggesting places to stay here in Hawaii, that are suggesting things for the future. We've got a couple of offers to stay on different boats and help them get cruise ready or something like that. And we're considering them all, and we're very, very thankful.
Okay, so
Thanks.
I know.
Did I jump in here?
I know that everybody is fighting for us to fix the boat, and I want to do that. I mean, that goes with our total MO. I want to break it, bail it, and fix it and sail it. But I'm gonna convince you right now that that's a bad idea. I'm pretty convinced by talking with some people that are boat builders and showing them the pictures that the plywood is delaminating inside. The way plywood is made, it's a sheet of wood with some glue, and another sheet of wood, glue, wood, glue, wood, glue. And this wood is 35 years old, and when it ripped off on the bottom, it took the first layer of wood with it. So it didn't separate from the fiberglass on the wood. It separated from the glue in between the sheet of plywood. So that tells me that the glue is getting old, and probably all the plywood on the whole boat needs to be replaced, at least all the decking, to be really safe. Maybe just the bridge deck, and then you can redo the hulls to it, but that means that the whole cabin top has to come off, basically rebuild the boat. Might as well redo the decks. Also, the one guy told me that this boat actually has an intrinsic problem where this has happened before. In the rear stringer, it's not one solid stringer across. It actually goes out and then goes up where the hull is, and because that, it's got a fault, and it's a little weaker. It's inclined to have it's not stress fracture. It's like a weakening over time. He said that there was it looked like some rot, but it's just wet because it was taking water for the last 12 hours. I don't think that this is the boat for us. I don't think even if we fix it that we're ever going to be able to sleep on it. I got to be honest with you. This is like a performance catamaran, and I very often didn't sleep well on passage because it's fast and it can get up and go quickly, and it'll do 50% of wind speed. So there was times like even on this trip when we got hit by the ITCZ, we were doing 16 knots. We got hit by 50 knots, maybe 60 knots. It was really, really strong. It was probably the strongest wind we've ever had. And luckily, we only had a triple reefed main and a reefed jib up. So we let the main out and dropped it and turned downwind. But man, we were flying. And when we checked the thing, the max speed was 16.
Which I think it was more, but there's no proof, so.
We did 22 knots in the same situation outside the two motos. Yeah.
That was actually kind of fun though, because it was during the day and the waves were small. But yeah, your point being that this is not the right boat for what we're doing, that I absolutely agree on that. We've made it really far, but I think, especially after what happened now, this is a coastal cruiser.
It's amazing that we made it 25,000 miles.
Yeah, and to Easter Island, and I couldn't be prouder. And just the last couple of weeks, we were cruising in Kiribati, the Line Islands, and it was incredible. And the boat was seemingly performing really well. And
it's a nice boat. It's not a bad boat. That said, we completely destroyed it. it looks like it. You know, I haven't done a lot of cosmetic work on the boat, honestly, because there's so much other stuff I had to do. So it's got a brand new rig. It's got like all the bottom of the boat's been redone. The interior's good. It just needs paint, and that all those stringers replaced, and maybe the bridge deck, if you want to do that. So I think I can get like maybe 15 grand for it. Let's be honest. It's a screwed up boat, but it's got a good rig and sails and stuff. I don't want to part it out. I think our plan now is to put it on the hard if we can get it on the hard. We might have to motor it to Maui, which is like 80 miles, which is kind of a dangerous proposition. But we've got a guy that's helping us in Maui, and I've got a guy that has a trailer here. The problem is the yard here is going through some managerial problems. And if anybody's ever been to Hawaii on a boat, you'll know that it's just like kind of a shit show here. So anyway, the plan for us, to let you guys know, we're not going to fix the boat. We've decided that we're never going to trust it again. We're never going to sleep well on it. We never slept well on it anyway. It's a scary boat to cruise on. And we want to start doing some higher latitude sailing. We're the only sailing channel, guys, that has been to Pitcairn, all the islands in Pitcairn, Easter Island, Kiribati, and we didn't just go to Christmas Island. We went to a couple islands that are way out, uninhabited. We were tying to rocks. We have some crazy cool shit to show you from the last year of sailing. And we'd like to keep that going, but we need a boat that we can trust, man. And I do not want to make this mistake again.
I think Des and John have it right. This is more like a strip it boat, or more like a charter coastal cruising boat, which is not our style of cruising, and which is not, it's never going to give us the same excitement and fulfillment to make videos about freaking coastal cruising. It's fun and all, but we want like the raw adventure. We want to see Japan, and I think most of you from the comments I'm reading agree with that, and I hope you all are just as excited as we are to start a new adventure. We still haven't quite figured it out, what to do in the future now, but I think that's what we're going to talk about now, right? If you have any suggestions on what we could do, or how we could raise funds enough to buy maybe a little monohull or something.
Well, wait. Before you guys start that, we have an idea that I think we're going to run with, and I just need some specific information. So if you guys have ever read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, in 1937 he put out a book where he interviewed like 100 of the richest people in the world, and it's a cool book, but he never really gives like the reason they're rich, but he kind of gives like all of them kind of had this and all of them kind of had this. And one of the things that every one of these influential people had was a mastermind group, and people that were leaders in their field, because one man can't know everything, and it takes that man to say, okay, listen, I don't know everything, but I know that other people can give me better suggestions, and that's what I want you guys to be. So this is our idea. We're going to start a Kickstarter. We're going to make a really good video for it with some of this footage, some of the footage that we've taken in the last 3 years, and we're going to frame it like this. We've been inspiring people for 3 years to live their dreams. We've gotten a lot of emails from people. We'll put the emails there. Maybe we'll read them or something, inspirational. We've raised $1,000 for a Colombian school. We've given away our solar panels to a needy family in Fanning Island, which you guys haven't seen yet. I think I might have posted a picture. This is how our life has been, and we want to continue doing it. And if you've ever gotten a smile from us from a video, give us $1, and we'll be able to keep going. The problem with this is we don't have a good reason for people to give us money, other than I know you guys want to see us keep going, and I know you guys will support us. This is more for people that don't have a vested interest in us and our journey,
don't know us,
or don't know us at all. And Kickstarter is a place where you're getting a lot of traffic that has no idea who you are. So what we need is a good hinge or a good reason or some kind of catalyst to say, look, this is why we would like you to help us get another boat. Why we're different is we've been to all these places. We're the only sailing channel that always takes the out of the way track. We don't mind beating up wind. We sail that boat hard, and we ripped it in half. And we lost our home, we lost our business. But moreover, instead of pitying us, that's not really what we want. We want us to keep going and inspiring people and living your dream. Okay, so
have any of you ever heard of Kickstarter or ever supported anybody on Kickstarter? We'd like to have like a little opinion picture painted. How do you say that in English? I don't know. Just has anybody any thoughts about Kickstarter?
At GoFundMe, we're actually Sailing Nanji did a GoFundMe when they sunk their boat the day after they left. That sucks. I didn't even know that, but somebody sent me the link and they started a GoFundMe. GoFundMe, for us, it looks like GoFundMe is used more for like charity, and this isn't really charity. This is more like
investment in a new project.
Yeah, investment in a new project. And then GoFundMe, you don't get anything back, and Kickstarter, you have to offer things in return. And we have some really good ideas, because we were thinking about having a fundraiser privately with you guys and with YouTube for to raise $8,000 for new radar, a heater, and a couple other things.
So that we could go to Japan.
Yeah, to refit the boat.
So the idea there, sorry.
Go ahead, yeah.
The idea there was to sell artwork, because we've gotten into photography lately more, and we're actually taking some badass pictures, if I may say so myself. And we've read a couple of comments on different sites that suggested to please sell those as artworks, like as high quality fine prints. Fine art prints is what you call it, I think. So we thought about selling 20 of those to raise the money that we needed to make a huge refit here in Hawaii to go to Japan. Yes, we actually planned on doing a refit here anyways, but it looks like the work is a little more exceeding now after the incident. So, but the idea stays the same, selling fine art prints to a couple of sponsors, like a limited amount. And
not selling, like offering as a reward for, say, if you were to donate $500, you would get a nice framed print, or $1,000 you'd get a glissé, a limited edition glissé with a custom, like, thank you for helping us continue our journey, and then would never sell those again. And I also have collected a lot of coral, and I was thinking about taking, getting some nice wood bases and gluing them onto there, and then having a little plaque made out of engraved copper that said, Sailing Zingaro, this is from Malden Island, or I've got some nails from an old shipwreck, like 17th, 18th century shipwreck that I found. I've got a lot of like little trinket stuff for smaller donations and stuff like that. So basically, we would be doing a fundraiser with rewards, including coming to the boat and getting a bigger community to vest into this. The problem with this is, if we fail, we don't receive. Well, two problems. One, you have to come up with a number. So what kind of number do we use? And two, if it fails, you don't get any of the money, and you look like an idiot, which I don't really care, as you guys know. But if we can do this right, I think we can raise enough money to buy another boat. Now let's talk about numbers real quick. I think we can get,
what people are asking.
Realistically, listen, if you guys that are just tuning in, we're not going to fix the boat. I'm sorry. You'll have to listen to the beginning of this, where I convince you guys that this is a bad idea. We're just never going to trust it again. Honestly, that's the bottom line.
We're never going to go to the places that we really want to go. And I think a lot about what you guys appreciate about us is that we're like going where we want to go, no matter how tough it's going to be, or how uncomfortable, or for how long it's going to be uncomfortable. So we don't want to give that up, because that's what makes us proud, and that's kind of what I define myself as. I don't know about you. Like
Yeah.
a sailor just fucking does it uncomfortably. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay, so let's talk dollars. I think we have like $6,000 in the bank. It takes a lot of money to. We basically just spend all the money on the boat, refinishing it, making it nicer, and it's still kind of it's hard. I think that we're gonna get paid $2,000 this month from Patreon, so that's like $8,000. A couple people have sent us money. Thank you very much. So let's say we have a maximum of $10,000 right now. Plus we can get 15 for the boat. That's, I think, realistically, that's probably what we can get if we find somebody that wants to deal with it. So
that wants to like charter in Hawaii or kind of just use it as his home base or hers.
Yeah. So that's 25,000. Plus we have enough videos to last for 4 to 5 months. But that's for just living expenses because Hawaii's expensive. We might not stay here either. But anyway, that's probably just living expensive. Maybe we can, let's say we can save like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. $1,000 a month from that. So that puts us up to like 29,000. So 25 to 29,000 is what we're working with right now. I say, just from my experience, that we would need at least $50,000 to buy another boat, and that would be probably with a little bit of owner financing too. I'd like to find like a stout boat is like a Tiana or a Hans Christian or something strong. I doubt we're going to be able to afford a catamaran unless we get some kind of sponsorship that, you know, there's just not a production cat that's one piece that's strong enough to do the sailing we want to do that's cheap. It's like a Manta or a Katana or, you know, something really expensive, a couple $100,000. So we're looking at monohulls. We're looking at something strong. We've gotten a couple offers. Oh, you know what? This is a good time to think. Here, I'll show you guys something cool. We're gonna show you. This is Steve Paul. Steve Paul is one of our supporters. He might be on here. And he offered us this boat. This is his Morgan 40 for free. He said, guys, you can use it. Get on it. Go cruising. You can have it. You've been such a good inspiration to us that I want you to have my boat. I mean, how freaking awesome is that? Thank you, Steve.
So much, Steve.
You're awesome. Unfortunately, a Morgan 40. My last boat was a Morgan 41, a little bit different.
You planned on going cruising in that?
I did, yeah. And it cost me too much money. I think I spent like 15 or 20 grand on it, and I realized it wasn't the boat. And that Morgan is not really built for what we're doing. So, sorry, man, we're gonna have to turn you down. It feels weird to turn down a free boat, especially when it's nice. You know, it's not like you're giving me a shit boat. It's like ready to go, but it's just not for making passages. We've also gotten a couple of different Jonathan, one of our longest patrons, he offered us his Fuji 45, which is a blue water boat, and we're definitely considering that. The problem that we have with taking someone's boat is twofold. One, logistically, it's going to be a problem because the customs agencies in places want the owner to be on the boat, and just having a piece of paper, I think might be difficult. Two, all of the money that we invest in the boat would stay with the boat, which would be like our payment for borrowing the boat, so that's okay. But moreover,
there's no way of saving up for our own boat while cruising.
That's the problem.
On somebody else's
That's
boat.
the problem. When you're cruising on a boat, all of your money goes into fixing the boat. Like, it just happens that way. It's really hard to save anything, and for us not to have some kind of way to invest. That said, we are making more money with our Patreon, so maybe over the course of time we can save and just keep going. We want to keep cruising. We love it, and wait until, like, just now when we leave Ecuador, we finally got good camera equipment, and we finally are starting to go to cool places. So our YouTube channel is going to be really cool coming up, and we've already experienced all this, and we can't wait to show you guys. And we're just like, we're in this like nirvana time right now where we're we were, the day before this happened, we were thinking, oh man, we got to paint in here, and then we're going to put the heater here, and we're going to go to Japan, and then we're going to do a great circle route and go to Alaska and the Pacific Northwest, and then we'll do a U.S. tour where we can have meetups with everybody. Yeah. So let's answer some things. Dave Rhodes, this is a good example of a boat that isn't really what we're looking for. A Hudson Force 50. I know that boat very well, and it's not a real good ocean making boat. There is a guy that's cruising on it. I think he's got a YouTube channel, but not really my type of boat, man. It's I don't know. I've been living on boats long enough to know that that's not really what I'm looking for. I want something like a Hans Christian or a Fuji, or something that is made to flip back over. That boat I don't think has a very good roll. What do they call that? I know one of you guys knows. When the boat flips over, there's a number that would say how likely it is to flip back over. And I don't think those things are pretty beamy. Plus a 50,
Man, the problems with a monohull, huh?
plus a 50-foot boat is pretty big. We don't need a 50-footer. Everybody thinks bigger is better, but as soon as you get to 50 feet, then you start to have to pay way more money. To go through the canal on a 50-foot boat is like triple the price. And they just tripled the canal fee. I think it's like $3,000 now to get through. Wow, there's 60 people on here. Hi, patrons.
It's good to have you all.
Okay, so let's go through and answer some questions. James Bragg says, how much are you thinking you need? 10K, 100K, 200K, 500K? $500,000, sir. I think we need 50K.
You can send us that on PayPal right now. No problem.
I think we need 50. I'm thinking that we're going to be able to find somebody that has a boat. Boats are they're like siblings, or, it's part of your family, and you want it to go to a good home. The people that'll use it, and if your boat doesn't get used, it dies. So I think that we can find like $100,000 boat that somebody will take $50,000 for, maybe take $75,000 for, and pay 2 years of payments of $1,000. I'm sorry. Find a $100,000 boat that somebody will discount 25% for us, and finance the other 25%. I give them 50 and then give them payments. I think I can do that. And a $100,000 boat is really that's probably the place that we want. We're looking for something like a Lafitte, like a Hans Christian, a Tiana 42, Tiana 44 would be cool. Something with really stout rigging. I'm not looking for. I've been on so many boats. I know what I want, and I'm not going to make the mistake again of getting something that's subpar. So we're going to get something super stout that's never going to let us down. And even if I flip it and dismast it, I can still get us in safely, because we're gonna be going to some wicked places. We want to go do Cape Horn. We are definitely going to do Patagonia in southern Chile. And we've already been to Easter Island, which is like the most remote inhabited island in the world. So we got the skills now. We just need the boat. So I'm thinking 50, and I think I can raise 25 myself. So I'm gonna need $25,000 in donations, or just save up. I mean, I can always just go back to work too, but that would take a while.
Yeah. A lot of people here are talking about getting on the news. Sailing Naho, I think, suggested that just now, and I wouldn't even know where to start or whom to contact there.
Yeah,
so
I've thought about that.
If you have any ideas, then please.
I've thought about that. I think we're gonna contact the news agencies after we put together some footage. We haven't put together the video for the Kickstarter yet, and that's the next step. The steps that we were taking were, okay, get the boat safe, get it in a marina. I had to get insurance for it, and the U.S. Coast Guard documentation was out of date, and so that's all taken care of. It's in the marina. They let us stay there for 3 weeks in emergency. There's a 2-year waiting list in this marina, by the way.
That was really nice of those guys.
Yeah. When you say you sailed from Tahiti and you've been out to sea since November 4th, they're like, cool, yeah, here you go. We'll hook you up. So, and then the next step was get a live stream for the mastermind group and try to figure out, what we can do. Mostly what I need from you guys is we need that catalyst. We need that reason why people should give to this Kickstarter campaign. That's what we're lacking. We have everything else we need for this video, but like a good reason why people should invest in us. There's a couple ideas that we have is we're different, or we're the guys that always go crazy places. We'll take you to some insanely cool spots. We are following our dream and inspiring people. We need more ideas like that. That's what we need from you.
I'm not really convinced on a Kickstarter campaign so much, to be honest. And I mean, most of the comments that I read said that nobody here has ever backed anybody on Kickstarter.
So maybe GoFundMe then? I mean, I'd be willing to put another platform out, but what we need is, I think, a quantifiable amount with a bar. And that's like some kind of crowdfunding, because I don't think
people like bars.
I don't think saying on maybe we can use the website and make our own, but I don't think saying, hey, donate, on PayPal to us, and then it just goes into this bottomless pit and no one knows how much you have and no one knows how much that you need. I think we need some kind of quantifiable amount. So it says, hey, we need 30 grand and we're at 15, okay, cool. We'll give you some money. Or we're at 30 grand and we're at 50. Oh, great. They got enough. Let's see what happens. This is going to be amazing. So that's what we need, is some ideas on how to do that. That's the most important thing. Where are we now? I'm getting lost. There was going to be something else that we were talking about, right? Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. I'm going to look at the...
future plans, and that's it, I think.
Okay.
The future is uncertain, as always. And one thing that I really wanted to say was... this is like the worst thing that you could do to a boater, like losing the boat, basically. And it does not take anything away from me from this lifestyle or from this wish to be sailing around the world and living on a boat. Boats are great investments, maybe not in a financial sense because you might lose it, but all the experience that we have had in the last year, in the last 3 years, and everything that we were able to witness, and challenges that we grew up to tackle, and all that just made this so worth it. And I'll be still making videos about our past adventures, and every time you see an episode with our catamaran, it is kind of hard to edit, to watch the footage and know that this is not going to happen again on that boat anyways. But you should not feel sorry for us, because every of these episodes will be proof that this was worth it. No matter the outcome, it was fucking awesome, and it still is a great idea to buy a boat. So all of you, don't think that this is a reason not to buy a boat.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to some of your questions here. I think you may find we are a core group. We can bring your mastermind group and set up marketing strategy and gain you high profile and maybe market it to web TV or Netflix kind of video. William, that'd be great. And if anybody knows a publicist, that's what we need. I've waited on putting out this stuff on YouTube because we only have one chance. It's not like a thing where we can go back and redo it. I know that the word is out to the people that are on social media, but that's a very small percentage of the YouTube audience that we have. And these types of videos get 500,000 views. So we're potentially looking at very big exposure, but we have to do it correct. And I don't know how. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a publicist. I'm a sailor, dude. I just do my thing. I'd rather just be in the engine room fixing the engine 300 miles out to sea right now, actually. But now we're put onto this, and I need somebody to help us out with the marketing stuff. So yeah, bro, if you could help us, that'd be great. And if anybody's got any experience with business plans and things, I would greatly appreciate that. We are at a place where we have phone, internet, everything. So I'm going to open up the phone. I'm going to put my contact information out there. If anybody can help us out with the logistics of this thing, it's a big deal. We're asking for a lot of money. It's a huge decision on our part. I can't buy another fucking boat that breaks. This will be number 3 cruising boats, and I want to make the right decision. Thank you for everybody that's offered boats to us. We may take you up on that still. We may, in the interim, do like some. I'd like to open up our skill sets to people. Like if you've just bought a boat or recently acquired a boat and you want to go cruising, we can come down and stay with you on it, help set it up, and then maybe cruise with you a couple months. That'd be super fun and very cool for the channel too, to have different boats like that. We will get through this no matter what. If I have to go back to work and be a boat captain for a couple of years and then restart up the channel, that's fine too. We're definitely going to stay together. We've been through a lot, and we love each other, and yeah. So you're the best, man. I couldn't ask for a better crew.
Yeah.
And partner.
I would have not wished to be out to sea with anybody else in that situation. Like really.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm sorry we had to go through that, but
that means a lot.
Better together.
Thanks, baby. Okay, so somebody mentioned a veterans angle.
Your mom.
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I should definitely mention that in the Kickstarter video. Your dad says you have Crohn's. Yes, I have Crohn's disease. If anybody knows what that is, it's like a internal colitis. It just means that for me, I can't
eat fried food.
Eat fried food or anything with a lot of oil. I eat a lot of fish and rice. I just like that. Sailing on a Whim says, try not to overthink this. Tell your story. Start a Kickstarter and share. Yeah,
I think
Dan,
he's got a point.
Yeah, but I think the Kickstarter video has to be the best we can make it to, to garner the best. Yeah, I don't know. Breezy says, marry that girl. Marry that girl. Maybe that should be the Kickstarter video.
No.
Maybe offer sailing charters for the Kickstarter. That's a good idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Mark Weens traveled in 8. You guys can travel and document. Yeah. One of the things that makes your story engaging is that you started from scratch with a passion, using your own resources. Somehow got to keep that vibe. Yeah, definitely. I don't want. I don't want to change the way we do things, and I like to have our own boat. That way, we can break it and fix it, and show people how to do it.
You want to have your own boat so you can break it. Great.
Well, you're gonna break
That's
it.
the attitude that brought us into this.
James says he'll pledge $500 right now, however you want it. James, you're awesome, man. Thank you very much. I say wait for the Kickstarter.
I say send us that money on PayPal now. It can't hurt.
The way that Kickstarter works is in the first 48 hours they measure your success by the amount of traffic that it has, and they can put it up on the front of the site. If it gets up on the front of the site, it turns viral. And so if everybody rallies with us to have a good launch for the Kickstarter campaign, it could really get a lot of traction. So I would say that the Kickstarter's better, and they only take like a few percent, so it's worth it.
10, I think, right?
I don't think it's 10, no. Every dollar donated, plant a tree.
Oh, wait, I've got one idea. So, we've been on a performance CAD these past 3 years, in case you don't know, and they're weight sensitive. But I always said if we were ever to get a big monohull, or like a monohull in general, to do like cold weather stuff, I wanted a plastic recycling factory on the boat, because weight doesn't matter at that point since you're slow anyways, whatever you're doing, right? So we're patrons of Dave Hackins is his name. Sorry about the music. And he is publishing plans for free to make machines to recycle your plastic. So we could make a 3D printer to print with that recycled plastic that we like get off of beaches or that we collect underway, and make parts for other boaters like free of charge. And I think we're not gonna be able to afford a catamaran no matter what we do here, I think. So that'd be an idea, and that would be the ultimate gift to the cruising community also, because who does not need a little, like, whatever it is, we could freaking print it. So many times there has been pieces that we needed, like for the outboard, like little clips that we could have just printed like that, and we would have been done. Because out in Ecuador you can find these pieces, or wherever you are, out to sea the least. But yeah, what do you think about that? I thought that was brilliant.
I think it is, but I don't know how much the equipment costs. It's actually 4 different machines. It's not the cost, it's the weight and the space.
Yeah. It's 3 different machines you can choose between. If you want it for a printer, you just have to make like the line,
strings.
The strings. The other one is
like
to
a
make
melter, and a shredder, and a like a machine that makes the extrusion for a 3D printer. So it's 4 different machines if you want a 3D print shit.
I think it's pretty awesome.
Feared Ice Vlog says come to Victoria. I love Victoria. Yeah, we would do that. We would love to do that in the interim while we're looking for another boat, is go to different boats and put our skill set out to use to people for free. Just, like, house us, and we'll teach you everything we know, which isn't a lot. It won't take very long. A couple weeks, a couple hours. Maybe give us a burger.
So look, Shalgo is saying that we should use the current events to funnel people towards Patreon, and I think this has been a platform that has us brought this far, and I think that's
So you think that this is better than you doing Kickstarter?
Yeah, because we have all these people to talk to.
Yes, but this is 260 people. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people on Kickstarter. It's just the face value of it. Plus, it's a quantifiable. Plus, it's a proven source. It's just smarter to, like, if we're gonna do it, I think all at the same time, like a media blow up. We do it all at the same exact day. We do a Kickstarter launch. We do a video on YouTube. We do a, hopefully maybe we can time it with a news report on Hawaii Daily or something.
We need a professional.
Oh God, right. Yes, yeah.
Somebody.
It's overwhelming. Okay, so that's it. That's where we're at. We need your help with those 2 things. Maybe like some kind of business plan if you know a publicist. Moreover, if you guys can come up with some kind of catalyst for us that we could use for that hinge to say what turns you into a concerned person or a part of this journey, a contributor. That's what we need. We love you guys. Thank you very much for everything. You guys are so awesome. Everybody's really vying for us and helping us out, and every little bit helps. We really needed it. It's been just a horrible, horrible week. I mean, we're crying over the boat. It's our little baby. It sucks to leave our home, and whenever I'm looking at footage or going back to the boat, I'm just like, man, this sucks. We loved that boat. It was so fun to sail. I mean, it's cool to have a small little cat that doesn't weigh anything. We were sailing off anchor and onto anchor everywhere, not using the motors. We had big plans for that boat. We were going to put an electric engine on it and have 1 diesel and 1 electric. That way we kind of covered all the bases, and put a heater on it and go to crazy places. But
that's what hurts the most. We were going to make things with this boat, like electric engines, and we thought of we were gonna do a refit here and then paint it, and we just envisioned like how this boat would be looking like new, and then now we ripped it in half.
Okay, I'm open to all suggestions. It says Breezy says it seems you're trying hard for a viral video. I'm not trying hard for a viral video. I just think that having a platform other than PayPal, because Patreon is just PayPal. I think having a platform other than PayPal is a good idea. A quantifiable donation amount that we need. GoFundMe is another option, but I think personally that would be my choice, because that's what people need when they. If I didn't know somebody and they said, "Hey, send me some money on PayPal," I probably wouldn't do it. But if they had an interesting reason and I saw a campaign on a crowdfunding campaign, I would probably do it, and I have before. And like, just personally, that makes more sense to me. I don't need it to be viral. You're thinking viral because I'm saying it's got more exposure. It's got more exposure because the user base of Kickstarter is like 4 million, whereas the user base of Cruisers Forum is like 50,000 or 100,000. Don't really know. Warham are not blue water boats. Those are coastal cruisers. Those are Warham cats are tied together with planking and then tied. They're not really made for. I mean, people take them around, but I wouldn't want. Start funding the news people. You can sell it. They'll be interested in you. Cool. Yeah, we'll do.
Alrighty.
GoFundMe was designed for a situation like this. Sit down and think about your resources. Work out where you can get them and where you can do it.
Thanks, Graham.
Tattoo Jason says GoFundMe is probably better. The reason that we weren't thinking about GoFundMe is just because GoFundMe is usually for like medical bills and people with cancer, and we didn't want to like say, "Hey, buy us a new boat," but it might be a better option.
The reason I prefer Kickstarter is because it's not only, I mean, this journey is not only about us, it's about all of you guys, and this is a joint journey through our videos. So I was more thinking that we could attack from that angle, that to keep the business going, to keep the cameras rolling, to keep us producing content with you guys about sailing, about things that we all are passionate about living a life with purpose and with passion, and a life that inspires others, and sharing that. I think and we have rewards to give out on Kickstarter, whether it's art pieces or whether it's vacations to come down for big donors, or whether it's like private videos, or there's so much we can do with our skill set as videographers and photographers, that I think Kickstarter would be the way to go. But personally, I don't have much experience, so if you guys say GoFundMe would be the place that you would choose, then I'll look into that more.
Okay, I think it's been an hour and 12 minutes. Thank you guys for sticking with us. I hope this was interesting. William Jones, please give me a call. Bill, let's Bill. Shit, I didn't even... Yeah, Bill, let's talk. If you can help us out with that business plan, I'd really appreciate that. Lastly, thank you guys again. We have a really cool group called our Saloon. If you guys are not part of it, I'll post the link again for the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp is an app that all the rest of the world uses, except for the States, to keep in touch. It's a VIOP. It's like Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
But its own standalone thing, and you can call through there. Anyway, we started a WhatsApp group, and I think there's like 50 people in there, and everybody's getting together, and a couple of the guys have met in Australia and helped each other with their boats, and I think that we would love for all of our patrons to be part of that group. So I will put the link to that in a separate Facebook Patreon post, and we love you. Thank you for everything.
And give all the new patrons also a warm welcome.
Yeah, thanks. That's cool. It's welcome. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
We're out. Oh, I gotta figure out how to put this off again.